Hey guys, Disney Mummy with MS here. I've been wanting to do this video for a while now. As you may have seen in my vlog series, I went to Florida and I had an absolutely amazing time. However, I do have MS and I had to try and manage having MS whilst going to Florida. Now, some of you may wonder, well, if you've got MS, you looked fine walking around the parks. However, what you may not have seen on the videos is all the downsides. Unfortunately, I had seizures while I was in Florida. I also had toilet accidents while I was in Florida. I also had moments when my legs were bad. Yes, I did walk in Florida. I didn't use a mobility scooter. Now, I want to give you my reasoning for this. I still feel quite protective of my legs, and if I can walk, I want to try and walk. However, that doesn't mean if one day if I had woken up and my legs weren't if I had been in trouble, I would have gone in a mobility scooter, no problem. Now, I want to just compare the two differences. When I went to Disneyland Paris, I did use a mobility scooter because it is colder there and the weather there affected my muscles and it affected my spine and everything just tensed up and I couldn't move. I couldn't even walk a few steps. I really struggled in Disneyland Paris. However, in Florida, some of you guys with MS can probably relate to this. The weather is warmer. Your body reacts differently. So yeah, I wanted to make the most of walking while I still can. But I did have my walking stick with me at all times and I did make use of it. You may not have seen it on camera, but it was there. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and give you a few sort of tips on what I do to make it easier with having a disability and going to Disney World, Florida. My first tip, Disney does have a disability assistance scheme, which is a DAS pass. What that does, you, on your, say, first day in Disney, you can go to the town hall in Magic Kingdom, or I believe we went to guest services at Animal Kingdom when we first got there, and you just can talk to them, explain your situation. I did have a letter from my MS nurse explaining about my MS and explaining not so much that I needed to be in a mobility scooter, but how I struggle with standing and how if I had bladder problems and stuff like that. So they were more than helpful with issuing us with a DAS pass. Now they issued it for me, Chris and the girls, and it allowed us to say go up to a ride. If it had a 40-minute wait time, they would put that on my magic band and then we could go away, we could sit down, have a drink, we could go, like I could take the girls to the loo, we could do, you know, just relax somewhere cool and then come back 40 minutes later when our time was ready. I would scan my magic band and then they would let me, Chris and the girls in, and it worked really well. It was so I wasn't then struggling to stand, because with my MS I struggle to stand. When I stand for long periods of time, my legs begin to shake, they begin to buckle. I can walk fine, however standing I do struggle with. I always have done. However, now I'm having this heart trouble. I think it may be linked to that as well, but that's another story. Anyway, so yes, I highly recommend if you do have struggle with standing and you don't want to be in a mobility scooter, because they do allow for mobility scooters to go, there's enough room in the queues for mobility scooters. However, this DAS pass works better if you are walking but you struggle with standing in queues, or you struggle with heat, and yeah, so it works really well. And we found that, well, I found that helped me so with my MS. Another tip, what I do, I like to get out early into the parks when it's a lot less crowded, it isn't busy. Again, the queue rides are very quiet, so I don't necessarily have to use the DAS pass, and you can just relax a lot more. And I like to make the most of the quiet mornings. It's not as hot outside, so it's a lot cooler. And then we usually go back to our resort about 1 o'clock-ish and then go and relax by the pool. That way the girls can go splash about, have fun, and I can just relax. I can let my body just chill. Because I did try doing a full park day once, and that really mucked me up. I really struggled with that with my MS. I tried that the other year and it didn't work for me at all. So yeah, for me, a tip, go out to the parks early in the morning, back to your hotel, chill by the pool, and then if you go back out in the evenings, you're all refreshed, you feel better, and you can, you know, take on whatever the evening will bring. Planning. I do a lot of planning for our Florida holidays. I make sure everything is planned so I know what is going on. I even plan our routes around the park, so I make sure I don't have to walk too far. And it sounds crazy. So when I book our fast passes, I make sure they're in a close location. So then we haven't got to keep jumping about all over the place. And yeah, so planning for me is key. I make sure that we haven't got to keep rushing about all the time, because I don't want that. I'm on my holiday, and I don't want it to aggravate my MS. I always make sure we carry everything we need with us. So yes, we've got everything for the girls, but we carry stuff for me too. So I have a foldable walking stick that folds nicely into Chris's bag, and I also have spare pads. I have spare shorts and knickers in there as well. I know it sounds a bit embarrassing, but you don't want to get cut short when you're in the middle of Magic Kingdom, because yep, that happened to me one day. Yeah, it isn't fun. I'm not gonna lie. You're there on holiday, you try and have a good time, but yeah, these MS doesn't care where you are, what you're doing. That's just gonna get you where, you know, whenever it likes. So yeah, not great, but you need to make sure you are prepared. So yeah, make sure I have all those things I need on me. Also medication. I make sure I take my medication with me. I make sure I've got a pack of my pills. I make sure Chris has got a pack of them, just in case. So if I lose them or if I run out, I've got them on me, because the last thing I want to be is in the middle of a park and then my pain starts kicking in, and that's going to take me a good sort of 45 minutes to an hour to get back to the hotel. So no, I make sure that I have some medication in my little bag, and Chris has a pack of my medication in his bag as well. Disney are usually really good. Obviously they do bag checks as you go through, but I've never been questioned when I go through about my medication. So yeah, that's always been fine. And finally, just pace yourself and enjoy yourself. yes, there is so much to see in Disney World. There is so much to see and so much to do, and you do want to try and fit it all in. However, you do need to think of your health too, because you don't want to do too much one day and then the next day you can't do anything. So just pace yourself, just take your time, and enjoy it. Enjoy seeing your kids having fun. Enjoy, if you're not taking kids, just enjoy yourself. You're gonna have an amazing time. So try not to stress about the MS, because stress, as we know, makes MS worse. So try not to stress about the MS. Just enjoy the moment with Disney. So that's everything from me. I hope this has helped. If it has, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, I regularly add new videos every Tuesday and every Sunday. So please hit that bell notification, and I hope you join us again soon. Bye.